All right, so the last channel update was on Friday, and then I've made some other content, and this is your Monday update. So yeah, I woke up and I slept like crap all night. Just waking up every couple hours, grab another spoonful of peanut butter, sip some water, get some nicotine, head back to bed. I've added the New Adventures of Captain S playlist, including the Filler Friday bonus features on it. Strongly advise you go check that out if you got some time for some nice, cheesy, campy, retro nostalgia. If you ever watched a cartoon on Saturday morning called The Adventures of Captain N, I think you'll appreciate Captain S. This came from, let's see, I think the series is 13 or 14 years old now. This was the 2007-2008 timeline, I think, was when about that was. I basically was able to find a nice, cool piece of some of the pop culture I was into personally, the underground stuff online, that and Phelan Porteous's Mortal Comedy, which I'm not sure you can find anymore. Got a hard drive not connected to the internet that has downloaded high-quality DivX versions, I think they are, of everything up until the point where they got a budget and new costumes for all the ninjas, and then they basically stopped making the series. But, yeah, Captain S is pretty cool. There's a song on that playlist as one of their Filler Friday bonuses that I will be using for a K-Nuff video as soon as I figure out how to present it. Yeah, I think you'll like it when you see it. So yeah, anyways, I trepidatiously made my way through attempting to sleep, or at least remain in some form of torpor for a few hours at a time. Got up this morning, made my coffee. The dehumidifier's been running. No new water's coming in, that's nice. So then I made my obligatory phone call to see about the employment prospect, and I kind of had this feeling that my concern would fall by the wayside due to other things. It's just the way it goes. It's nothing personal on this manager. It's how the job goes. And sure enough, I called and said, hey, can I talk to so-and-so? And the person answered the phone and said, oh, so-and-so's in Iowa City opening a different store. And I'm like, well, no, I'm sorry. Let me take that back. I was told so-and-so is not going to be back until Thursday. And I was like, not until... What happened? I talked to her on Friday. Well, manager in Iowa City's got health issues. She ran to the rescue up there, opening for 4 days and whatever. And I said, oh, okay, well... I had talked to her on Friday, and she said she was going to call me back. She heard back from the owner, and I said I'm glad that I called because I wanted to make sure. So I was like, I'm not trying to make direct contact or get personal info, but if you can take my name and number down and go ahead and get a hold of her and remind her that I'm still waiting. Not that I'm trying to be impatient or anything, but as I stated, my status of employment may not be this manager's number one priority, but my status of employment is my number one priority. So I was like, I'm here waiting to hear it. I understand if things have gotten busy and distracting or whatever, but just a general reminder that I'm still here waiting. And after that, I watched some morning content, news and such. It's kind of slim pickings today. I'm wondering how many channels that I normally watch have been removed at this point. Then I got dressed and went outside in the cool but humid weather and stacked off all the logs. Took a walk around. I've got a couple of videos of that I'll be uploading overnight. But in the meantime, I'm describing something that's already been shot that I won't go too much more into because it's already been shot. You can watch it when it comes out. Yeah, I don't know. Had a somewhat productive day. A little bit of a nap. AEW Dark Elevation was awesome. Action-packed, great matches. Fuego del Sol was there. That was exciting. Of course, we knew that they made it sound all bad and oh no, you're mean, all these people and sad faces on all the Friend Olympics people except for number 10 were walking out the door because 10's got a contract because he's in the Dark Order. And then what do we have but Baron Black and Kylan King and Fuego del Sol all working in Miami. So I'm excited to see what's on for Dark tomorrow night. I will say some of the highlights from Elevation tonight real quick. Fuego's match with Matt Hardy was freaking excellent. Those two have some good chemistry. Fuego got a huge pop. They made it believable that he just about got one over on Matt, and then Matt was like, oh, that's right, I'm a freaking powerful legend, and he just went like Kaioken or something and took out Fuego. He said delete a bunch of times while he was banging Fuego's face into the turnbuckles, and he was like, top turnbuckle, he was like, delete, 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 and then he moved to the middle, and delete, delete. He did it all the way down 3 times on each one. Baron Black was versus Will Hobbs. That was you kind of already knew that Will was just going to be a brick wall, but Baron always makes that effort like, oh, it's time, let's go, back. He's good. He's really good, too. And Kylan's match with the magical girl, God, what is her name? I had it and it went away, and I had it and it went away. Yuka Sakazaki, there we go. The reality is, between the two, I know Sakazaki's got more experience than Kylan, but Kylan's got about 3 feet in height advantage over Yuka. And honestly, watching the two of them together, Yuka tried to pull some power moves to take out Kylan and possibly injured herself. And the reality is, in any sort of a shoot or even a freestyle work shoot or whatever, between the two, Kylan would win. And she gets wins. She's been getting wins in other places. Just, you know that they brought somebody over from Japan. You know that they're not going to fly them across the ocean to do the job. So, that was kind of a given. But it was a very competitive match. It was really good. Couldn't tell if Kylan was playing bully character or if she was legit having attitude because why do I have to lose to this person? But it was a good match. Sheeta's match was pretty good. Thunder Rosa's match was decent. The girl that was up against her was good. And, the Julia Hart was who went up against Sheeta. Julia's got some good personality. Some fight, some attitude. Her facial expressions are great. They convey so much, which is important for wrestling. There's a lot of pantomime going on. Nothing against Penelope Ford, but for someone whose moveset is almost identical, Julia's just got a little more fire and a little more fight, and Penelope's a lot more spots. Let's see. Ty Conti had a match, and it was also good. She went up against a girl who tried to take a powder, and Ty walked her right back into the ring. A little mean streak going on there, but at the same time, Ty had to take a few bumps, and it was a more competitive match than some of the ones that she's had. It was definitely not a squash. Main event had Angelico versus Darby Allin. That was excellent. Sting's promo after that was most excellent. I think the highlight of the evening, though, was that 8-man tag match. That was really something to behold, and it was truly enjoyable. It was the Gun Club with Billy and Colton, who was his equal height, slightly skinnier clone son. Really looks like his dad, though. Holy moly. Even more so than Austin. And they teamed up with the Varsity Blondes to go up against, if you're ready for this, get ready, The Acclaimed and Chaos Project. Now, The Acclaimed I didn't used to like. I thought they were cheesy. I didn't really like the cheating heel thing. And I was like, what is this crap? Plus, like, Max Caster's like frickin' Ariana Grande's ex-boyfriend or something like that. Thank an X or whatever includes a verse about him in it. But when he's really found his own when it comes to these disses that he does, he comes out rapping and he puts some real hot sauce on some of them. Playing a heel, insulting Miami, and just, it was good. It was definitely good. kudos to Anthony Bowens for, instead of saying AEW, the Acclaimed have arrived, he said Miami, because that's where they were. But shout the crowd out, warm them up. And they teamed with Luther and Serpentico, who are one of my favorite tag teams, especially for the comedy, but also because Luther is actually a wrestling genius. If you watch some of the innovative stuff that he does that you don't see from anyone else, anywhere else, he can add an enziguri after literally any move, and it will work. Basically, they had this bit in the middle of it, and I know this was orchestrated, but it was for the benefit of the crowd, an enjoyment piece. It wasn't really about the match. We knew who was going to win. It was going to be the faces. Because if it was just the Acclaimed versus the Blondes, then the Acclaimed probably would have cheated and won. If it was the Acclaimed versus the Gun Club, they might have cheated to win, but Billy Gunn is something else, man. He's a freaking robot. He is unstoppable once he's in the ring. Like, he won't sell and he won't lose. And he doesn't have to. I like when the Acclaim go in nowadays, because after Anthony Bowens kind of came out publicly as far as being, he's a professional wrestler, he's openly gay. I don't care, it's all good, whatever, dude. You do you, it's all good, I don't care, right? Max kind of adds a little sauce on that. I have no idea exactly what that dude's sexuality is, nor do I care, because it ain't my business. But obviously they play into it a bit. Some of it's for heelishness, some of it's like the psychology of the ring that you put your opponent off. Orange Cassidy does the same thing with the sunglasses and the shrugs in the pockets and the little shin kicks. So it works. It's good for theater. So for Billy Gunn to come out, and of course, if you watch Billy in any of his interviews and anything else, he's one of the sweetest people on the planet. He's a really nice guy from what I can see. But he also takes his reputation and credibility seriously. So for him to go out and do the DX suck it right at Anthony was like, ooh, wow. But of course, they just had also made a rib in the intro disc that had something to do with Your Son's So Ugly. All right, what was it? He says something about Billy Gunn and his son Colton, boy's so ugly, you should have worn a Trojan or something like that. And the whole crowd winced. But basically what it came to is the centerpiece of the match, although not the final fight. I mean, and it was a good match. Everybody in that match was good. Some of them were better than good, honestly. The Acclaimed have really excellent chemistry. Chaos Project is something you must see for yourself to understand. Luther uses Serpentico as a weapon. He will grab his guy and do a wrestling move, but by laying him down with the body slam, he's doing it as a senton over the other guy. Well, then what happened is Billy and Colton took this after an also most excellent match with Chaos Project, where Billy started using his sons as weapons just to mock Chaos Project, which is great. I love it. It's hilarious. I am entertained. And what happened was, because this was a 4-on-4 tag match, was that Billy did the body slam senton onto Colton, who then went in with the reach behind and try and pull the leg up and do the pin, only to get rolled out of the way just in time for Luther to run in to drop an elbow like he was going to hit Colton, and he hits his own guy Serpentico instead. And so then Luther gets out of the ring because he's not the legal man. Serpentico is. And then, what's his name? How did it go? What was it? Colton tagged out to Billy. Colton picks his own dad up, who's twice his size, body slams him, and onto Serpentico. And he then goes to do the thing, and then I think Bowens comes flying in with an elbow, and Billy gets out of the way, and boom! Anthony hits an elbow on Serpentico, his own teammate, and then Billy gets up and tags into Griff, and then Billy picks up Griff, and he slams Griff down onto Serpentico, and then I think Max came in at that point and tried to do the elbow too, and the same thing again, all the way until, Griff tagged in Pillman Jr., Pillman's whole routine is that he does the pinfall after the drop. So he he comes in and you think, oh, here goes the win or whatever. But of course, he also did it too. So basically, every member of the heel team watched the face team imitate the Chaos Project move with the body slam onto the guy, while poor Serpentico's just laying there taking them all. And in between 3 body slam sentons with a dude as the weapon, each of his teammates also dropped an elbow on him. You had to have seen it. It was so funny. Serpentico, John Cruz, is one hell of a worker. He sells good. When he first came out, he got tagged in up against Billy Gunn, and he does this big old, like, body check, blah, and he just bounces off, and Billy's like, what? And he's just got this whole begging for mercy thing that he does after this. It's really entertaining. It's fun to watch. Both him and Luther have a lot of experience in the ring as serious wrestlers. They are very, very good at what they do, and when they pull out the comedy and this ridiculous teamwork, and Luther's like, and the whole time, it works. It just works. It's funny, but it's kind of weird and creepy and scary, and at the same time, they win matches this way, even though sometimes they also lose matches this way. But again, Serpentico's so good at selling that you watch him play this completely dazed and destroyed after having been body slammed over and over by his own guy onto the opponents, and then taking hits from the opponents, and then accidentally hit by his guy. And like I said, you get in between there are times where Luther can sneak a shin kick midair into the back or neck of literally anyone that he's wrestling after literally any other move that he's done, with maybe the exception of a power bomb. But any kind of ankle trip or Irish whip, or, just seriously, like, you watch the guy and it's like this, he's kind of fat and he's bald and he's got this weird makeup thing and he's screeching all over the place, and a lot of his moves are kind of sloppy, but he's been doing it for a while, and everyone's like, yeah, he's friends with Jericho. But, the guy is a deathmatch legend from, mud circuit indie scenes in Japan, but like I said, the guy really, really knows his stuff. He is an innovator, and that's cool to see. So anyways, I felt like that was kind of the centerpiece. All the matches were great. I'm really looking forward to Dark tomorrow as well. And look at this. I've turned my channel update into a freaking AEW review. But I'm sorry. I had a really good time. I was laughing and clapping and bopping up out of my seat and popping on my tablet. I was yeah! And stuff. It was a good episode. On top of, like I said, the excellent fact that everybody from the Friend Olympics segment on the Sammy Vlog was at this show, and hopefully we'll be at some future shows as well, because everybody loves watching them work. Everybody knew that Yuka Sakazaki was the one who was going to win the match, but the crowd was cheering for Kylan King. Everybody loves an underdog. And as I've said many times before in the comments on their videos, as well as in my reviews and such on here, one of the best things about AEW, Dark and Elevation in particular, is they have the best enhancement talent. They aren't just hiring in really good wrestlers, like there was times when the Young Bucks went in and had the job on WWE, but they have enhancement talent that work with them routinely, that know how to sell the bumps that they take. They know how to take every move. They know how to do all kinds of moves. These people are accomplished professional wrestlers on the indie circuit already, but where they're at in the place in the business that they need to be is to be the ones that do the job. But the thing is, like I'm saying, all of these guys have got excellent charisma. They have got excellent moves. They are very accomplished. They know how to work really well. And that's the best part of watching a professional wrestling match, a real competitive match, or any kind of impressive match, is when the people in the ring know how to work. Now, as an example of kind of the opposite, but no disrespect meant here either, Colton Gunn has gotten really good really quick, but he's extremely, extremely green. He is very young. He is very new to the business. He's been wrestling like less than a year. His brother's been wrestling with his dad for a couple of years. And of course, Billy's got like 20 plus years. The guy was in DX, like when I was in high school, freaking 25 years ago, that guy was already a well-known, accomplished wrestler. And his kids are great. They have it, right? But Colton is so new, he's got room to grow and time to learn, right? So no disrespect to him. But I could tell in the parts where it was him versus Serpentico, that Serpentico was doing the moves and Colton was kind of being moved through the air as the one performing the moves, that it was actually all Serpentico making him look good. Which, again, that's what enhancement talent is meant to be. And that's how John Cruz / Serpentico started off in that company. So that's how you know you got a good thing, and is a lot of fun to watch, is when you can start telling where the guys that are booked to lose are possibly better than the guys who are booked to win. Or girls, in the case of Kyla and King, ladies, right? Dream Girl Ellie was another example. She's actually really, really good for only having 3 years of experience. And the goofy thing is, the girl that was booked to win only had 6 years of experience. But, to be fair, is herself an ingenue, a bit of a prodigy. But there's a lot of bright future there, and that's really cool. It means that the industry is nowhere near dead. There will not be an end anytime soon. And the only thing I would have wished to have been a little different or better on this was that I had made the wager on, I think it was on the Cultaholic Straight to Hell with Evil Uno, that Uno just expressed that, like, when they get to doing crowds and performing in front of live audiences, that Alan Angels made his name in the Dark Order on no audience matches. And I was like, in the comments, like, he's so over, though. Everybody loves Five. He's a top character on both, well, until the BTE kicked the Dark Order off or whatever. But he's also got his own deal, a completely different character flip thing of himself, on the Sammy Vlog, too. He is one of the top talents in the company, and I don't mean that by popularity, I mean by skill set. He's so good. So they put him up against Brian Cage, and you knew who was going to win, because even though it's David and Goliath, the Cage needs some wins these days, and Cage is getting ready for a battle with Ricky Starks, and you want to see this guy beat a smaller dude and maybe build some expectations and then end up having Ricky lose, or I don't know, because the Ricky versus Cage match is going to be for the FTW belt title, and so if Cage loses, he's going to lose. I think he's going to leave Team Taz, is everybody's guess. And who knows where he goes. I mean, maybe he'll join the Dark Order. That would be cool. I can dig it. I think he's got the sense of humor for it. Or maybe he'll join up with Sting and Darby and be some muscle. But like that match with Five and Cage, Alan Angels is very young. He's like 24. There's only 2 or 3 wrestlers younger than him on the roster. He's been, probably wrestling for, what they say, like 5 or 7 years or something. But he's so good. He's so good. Like, not other people putting him over, making him look good. Like, the guy has every move. He's gone up with some serious heat, some real fire in the heart against Matt Hardy. They had a whole storyline thing where Five, the one that everybody in the Dark Order picks on and makes fun of, the little guy, right, was the one who found Hangman Adam Page's email to Mr. Brody. Now, this was after Brody passed away. But they'd done a little thing where Hangman had said to Brody, like, hey, man, I just want to let you know I sent that email, but don't worry, I'm in a much better place now than I was. And Brody's like, what the fuck? And he got so mad about it. It was hilarious. And so then while he was beating up Silver and Reynolds and Uno, Alan Angels gets on the computer and starts scrolling through, and they had this whole gag through like 2 different episodes of BTE and Dark and Dynamite where it was mentioned, though most people did not notice this, that Alan had spent the entire weekend or week or something going through every unread email on the Dark Order email account to find Hangman's email. And he found it, and he read what he said, and he printed it out, and he brought it to Hangman, and he gave him a hug. Like, there was this whole heartwarming thing. Like, that little dude's got so much heart, you know? Like, wow. And then when it turned out that Matt Hardy was the one who had deleted, he'd found Hangman's phone or something, and they'd sent him an I'm sorry text or something, and he sent back, you know what, F you or something. When that was the beginning of the downward spiral for Hangman. And Angel's character felt that so hard that he found Hangman's email. He gave him a hug. He said, "You're welcome anytime, bro. It's no pressure. We're not a cult, I swear." And all of the other guys in the group got behind Hangman. And it came to a Matt Hardy admitting that he was the one who ruined Hangman's friendship with the Elite. That number 5 got a match with him. And he went so hard. I know that it's just kayfabe. I know that it's not real. I know it's a story. But if you watched it, you were like, holy crap, he's so angry. And he just about took out Matt. And since then, every single time Alan Angels has wrestled Matt Hardy, he has managed to counter every single move. He's done his homework. He's studied up. He's practiced. He's that good. So, look at me marking out. But seriously, this is why I like AEW. Specifically, this is why I fell for the Dark Order. Because pretty much all their people that are in there are supremely talented. Stu and Uno have a great thing going. Little details in Stu's warrior persona as a character. If he injures himself, you watch him hurt his knee and he's like, and then he keeps going. Colt Cabana is just amazing. He is so good. He's so wise. He knows so much. Silver and Reynolds, their destruction meat grinder machine or whatever you want to call it, that 5 or 6 part finisher between the two, they're so good. And Reynolds, when you come to find out he's a wrestling instructor on top of it, that he's really, really, really good. And then you see Angels is really super good, and you see Vance has been doing it in obscurity. Old Vanilla Vance couldn't find a routine that worked, and all of a sudden Brody says, "Here, put this mask on. You're going to be number 10." And he is the powerhouse of the group. He's got pretty much the biggest arms and the biggest pecs with the exception of Brian Cage in AEW, and he's nowhere near as big. He's got he's actual weightlifter, actual muscle and strength, and they got this whole thing going. So, anyways, and Angels is much the same. That I already knew he was good by watching him before he got into the Dark Order. I was like, holy shit, this guy is so good. What is he doing jobbing? Well, you gotta pay your dues. And eventually what it came to was this business with Hangman and Matt Hardy. And 5 still has a grudge against Matt Hardy. He's never going to let that go. It's good entertainment. It's excellent long-term storytelling. If you're paying attention, if you're looking for these little details, they are there to be found. And that's why I like it so much. So anyways, I've now spent 3/4 of this video marking out over Dark Elevation. I can't wait for Dark tomorrow night because I want to see how the crowd reacts. It's really unfortunate that number 5, Alan Angels, did not get the huge pop that he deserved. But I don't know what time of evening his match was shot. I don't know how tired the crowd was, if it was too early yet, or what the deal was. But the people that were in the stands got to see a real great show between those two guys before Cage did the drill claw, and that was that. But the other thing was the entire Dark Order came out behind Angels into the ring, not just on the side. They all came out into the ring. They saluted the hard cam. They saluted the audience. And after that was done, there was a bunch of people in the front row all the way around the ring that were real audience people that were doing this. So some people were there and they knew. But people were so awed by this match. They were watching Angels do this thing that it was like they were dumbstruck. They didn't know what sounds to make watching this guy flip and fly around the ring and not quite be able to beat Brian Cage. But they also kind of knew that they needed to be cheering Cage because Cage has got his own storyline going. So it's almost a face versus face, like who do you cheer, who do you boo, you know? But yeah, so I'm excited to see what comes on tomorrow night. Elevation was dope, and I can only imagine that Dark is going to be fire to boot. And hopefully Dynamite's going to be Dynamite. And I mean that in a non-facetious way. I hope it's really good. Big Money Matt says he's going to win all 3 matches. That means he's wrestled 2 matches last week, and he's wrestling 1 this week. As far as the recording times go, I think he said that there's another match he's going to wrestle. He beat Fuego tonight. He's got somebody else he's going to beat tomorrow night. And then he's going to beat Christian Cage, he says. We'll see how that goes. Christian hasn't been booked to lose. So we will see how that Clash of the Titans goes on free television. Anyways, I'm done. Going to start uploading. Everybody have a good night. This has been your channel update. To recap at the beginning part, I am still waiting to hear on this new job. However, I'm still hopeful, and I have still, as of this time, not gone ahead and got that insurance on my truck, because if that money needs to be used toward putting gas in my truck to go look for other work or to keep my bills paid, I'm going to keep it for that just in case. And if I get word that I do get this job, I'll be right on down to the insurance place and get that stuff put on so that I can work in my truck again. Peace out.